I will now introduce Dr. ZHANG Hongjiang, the chairman of the Beijing Academy of AI, to moderate the Q&A session with you. 现在有请剧院研究院理事长张洪江博士主持和 Sam Altman 的问答环节，有请。
Hey, Sam, it's good to see you again, although this time it's over, Zoom meeting. And I recall I think the last time you were here was like 6 years ago, 2017?
2018.
Yeah.
18.
Oh, 18, okay, right. So we have quite a few questions here from the audience, and also since people know you are going to address this forum, the flood of questions came in. So that we could have more than you expected, but let me start with a few. Yeah, in light of your presentation, we have the, let me first pick up the one that very, very, very close to the topic of your presentation. That is, how far are we from safe AGI? You mentioned that the promise of AGI at the beginning, and in your view, and in OpenAI's perspective, how far we are from AGI? And is the risk very imminent, or we are still far away from it? And both in terms of a safe AGI and in terms of potential unsafe AGI.
It's very hard to predict exact timing here. It requires new research ideas still to get there, and those don't always work on a calendar. It could happen soon, could be far into the future. I think it's very hard to predict with any degree of certainty, but I do think that it's quite possible that we will have very powerful AI systems in the next 10 years. And in that kind of world, I think it is important and urgent to get this right. Which is why I'm calling for the international community to work on this together now. History certainly offers us examples of new technologies that fundamentally changed the world faster than many people thought. And the acceleration that we're seeing right now and the impact of these systems is in some sense unprecedented. And so I think, being prepared for it to happen soon and getting the questions around safety right, given the stakes and the magnitude, seems quite important.
So you do feel a sense of urgency. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes.
Okay. You also mentioned a few years. Few years, maybe in 10 years, AGI will have a breakthrough that will really.
Again, I'd like to emphasize that we don't really know, and also the definitions of AGI are different. But I think in 10 years we should be prepared for a world with very powerful systems in it.
Okay, and you also mentioned a few times in your early presentation just now, on global collaboration. We know the world has faced quite a few crises in the last 7 decades, and somehow for many of them we managed to build up a consensus and build up global collaboration. You also are making a global tour. So what exact global collaboration you are trying to push for? And how do you feel about the responses you have got so far?
Yeah, I've been really pleased with the responses so far. I think people take the risks and the opportunities of AGI very seriously. I think the discussion there has advanced quite a bit in the last 6 months. And people really seem committed to figuring out a structure that will allow us to enjoy those benefits while working together globally to mitigate the risks. And I think we're unusually well positioned to do this. Global cooperation is always difficult, but I think this is the kind of opportunity and threat that does bring the world together, and we can come up with a framework and safety standards for these systems that will be quite helpful.
Is there any previous successful grand challenge, examples you could referring to when we're addressing this potential risk?
We've eradicated some very serious diseases globally that took a lot of cooperation. We have dealt with chemicals that were causing, problems, real problems with the ozone layer, for example. There's many examples of where we've come together to do this.
Great. And also on this particular topic, so you mentioned alignment of advanced AI system is an unsolved problem. I also noticed, OpenAI has put a lot of effort in the last couple of years. You also mentioned GPT-4 is the greatest example so far in alignment. So, but do you think we can solve AGI safety issues simply by alignment, or this problem is much bigger than that?
I think alignment, the word alignment is used in different ways. I think we need to solve the entire challenge of what it takes to get to safe AI systems. Alignment in the traditional sense of getting models to behave in accordance with what their users intend is certainly one part of it. There will be other questions like how we verify that systems are doing what we want them to do and whose values we align the systems to. But I think it's important to look at the whole picture of what it takes to get to safe AGI.
Yeah. Alignment is still, if we look at what GPT-4 has done, is to a large extent is still, from a technical point of view, and but there are many other factors beyond just technology. So, this is really a complex problem. Often complex problems are systematic. And AI safety may be no exception here. And so in addition to the technical aspect, what are other factors and issues do you think are critical to AI safety? And how should we address those challenges? Especially most of us are scientists, what we should do.
It's certainly a very complex problem. I would say without a technical solution, everything else is very hard. And so I think a lot of focus on making sure that we solve the technical problems with safety is quite important. As I mentioned, figuring out this question of what values we align to is not a technical question. It needs technical input, but it's a question that deserves deep discussions throughout all of society. And we'll have to design systems that are fair and representative and inclusive. And also, as you pointed out, we need to think not just about safety of the AI model itself, but the entire system. And so building safety classifiers and detectors that can run on top of it, that can monitor compliance with usage policies. And that's important. And then also, I think it's difficult to predict in advance everything that's going to go wrong with any technology. And so learning from real world usage and deploying iteratively to see what happens when you actually make contact with reality and improve it, and to give people and society time to learn and update and think about how these models are going to interact with their lives in good ways and bad. That's quite important too.
Great. Early on, you mentioned about global collaboration, and you have been touring the world. So here, one follow-up question here is, China, US, and Europe, and these three major groups are the driving force behind the AI innovation, definitely in AGI. So in your view, what are the advantages do different countries have in this in cooperating to address the AGI issue, especially to address the AI safety? And how can these advantages be combined to join force?
Yeah, so I think there's generally a need for a lot of different perspectives in AI safety. We don't have all the answers yet, and it's quite difficult and important to solve. Also, it's, as mentioned, it's not purely a technical issue. Making AI safe and beneficial involves understanding user preferences in different countries in very different contexts. And so we need a lot of different input to get there. China has some of the best AI talent in the world. And fundamentally, I think that given the difficulties, solving alignment for advanced AI systems requires the best minds from around the world. And so I really hope that Chinese AI researchers will make great contributions here.
Great. And just to further follow up here, and you have been visiting quite a few countries. You mentioned about China, but could you share some of the outcomes you have achieved in terms of collaborations, and what are your plans or ideas for next step from this world tour, from the interactions you have with the various government, various agencies, various institutions?
Yeah, I think one great development has been the excitement about getting together to develop international standards for how to develop advanced AI systems safely. How we want to think about what the test should be as a very powerful model is training and before it's deployed. We've also had good conversations about building databases that reflect a global set of values and preferences that people can use to align their systems to, and how we develop forums to share AI safety research. So maybe those are the three kind of most concrete things that have come out so far.
Great. I understand that today's forum is focused on AI safety, but since people are so curious about OpenAI, and so
Sure.
I do have tons of questions about OpenAI beyond just AI safety. So one question I have here from one audience is, does OpenAI has any plan to reopen its source code, the model again, like in 3.0 and before that? I thought open source could benefit AI safety as well.
Yeah, we open source some models and not others, but over time, I think you should expect us to continue to open source more models in the future.
And great.
I don't have like a specific model or timeline, but it's something we're discussing currently.
Right. And so I'm not sure you have heard, but BAAI, the institute that I'm chairing, we have put all of our effort into open source, including models itself, algorithms to develop models, and tools to fine-tune models, and data to train models. We believe that there is this need to share and to give people a sense that they are in control of what they're using. So do you have a similar feedback through this tour, or is there something you're discussing among the peers, among your colleagues in OpenAI?
Yeah, I think open source does certainly have an important role, and there's been quite a lot of development of recent open source models.
Yeah.
I think the API model has an important role too, and it provides us additional safety controls. You can prevent certain uses, you can prevent certain kinds of fine tuning. If something doesn't work, you can take it back. And at the current scale of models, I'm not too worried about this, but as models get as powerful as we expect them to get, if we're right about that, I think open sourcing everything is probably not the optimal path, although it will certainly be right some of the time. And I think we'll just have to carefully navigate the balance. But yes, I think there's certainly advantages to safety of open sourcing models and the research there.
To follow up the question on both GPT-4 and also on AI safety, is there any possibility that we need to change the entire infrastructure or entire architecture of AGI models, so to make it safer and easy to be inspected? Any thought here?
It's definitely possible that we do need some very different architecture, both from a capabilities perspective and from a safety perspective. I think we'll be able to make some progress, good progress on interpretability of our current kinds of models and have them explain to us better what they're doing and why. But yeah, it wouldn't be surprising to me if there's another huge jump forward after transformers. And already we've really changed architectures a lot since the original transformer.
Thanks. Also, as a researcher myself, and I'm sure among the audience here, we are very curious where is the next step in terms of AGI research and in terms of big models or large language models. And will we see GPT-5 anytime soon? Or is the next frontier on the embodied models, or is the autonomous robot the next frontier that OpenAI has or is going to look into?
I'm very curious about what comes next too. The thing that I enjoy most about doing this work is being on the frontier of research is exciting and surprising, and we don't have the answers yet. So we're exploring many ideas about what could come next, what potential new paradigms could be. Certainly at some point we'll try to do a GPT-5 model in the sequence, but not anytime soon, and we don't know exactly when. We worked on robotics at the very start of OpenAI, and we're very excited about it and had struggles. I hope that someday we do get to return to it.
That sounds great. And you also mentioned in your presentation that you use it as an example to how to make models safer. You're specifically referring the work that you're using GPT-4 to expand which neuron does what in GPT-2. Is that work scalable, or that direction we're going to continue to push in the future in OpenAI?
We will continue to push on that, yeah.
So as you will consider that work will be scalable? Because I'm asking this question because a bunch of the scientists in biology in major, and also focus on human learning. They would like to borrow this idea to in their field and to study and explore how human neuron works.
It's easier to kind of look at what's happening in artificial neurons than biological ones. So I think it will work for artificial neural networks. I think this approach of using more powerful models or using models to help us understand other models will work. I'm not quite sure how you'd apply that to human brains.
Great. And also, since we are on this topic of AI safety and control of AGI, and so we have been debating, perhaps, if this world only have 3 models, then it will be safer. This is like the nuclear control. You don't want to have proliferation of nuclear weapons. So we have this treaty. We try to control the number of countries who could get access to this technology. So is that a direction to go to control the number of models? And
I think there are different perspectives on if it's safer to have a small number of models or a large number of models in the world. What I think is what matters more, the right framing, is do we have a system in place that any powerful model is subject to sufficient safety tests? So do we have a framework where anyone who is creating a sufficiently powerful model has the resources and also the accountability to make sure they're creating something that is safe and aligned?
Professor Max from MIT Future Life Institute mentioned one potential approach in his talk yesterday in this very conference, that one particular way to look into that, it could be like how we control drug development, right? The scientists develop a new drug, a company develop a new drug, you don't just release it on the market. You have to go through this test process. Is that something we can borrow? Is that something? Yeah.
I absolutely. I think there's, industries have developed different licensing and testing frameworks to bring a new technology to market, and I think we should borrow as much as we can from that. But I think, fundamentally, we've got great history of approaches here that can work.
Thank you very much, Sam. Thank you for joining us in this forum. Also, I want to thank you. Thank you for your vision. Started OpenAI and built such a wonderful team and focus on one thing. Have had so much success, so many breakthroughs, and that has changed the landscape of AI research and AI development, and now AI application, perhaps the entire society. This is wonderful to see this progress. And so, as a last question, before I let you go, is how you envisioned OpenAI idea, and what made you tirelessly pushing this, in this direction? And just like today, what made you pushing so tirelessly to AI safety?
I can't imagine anything more exciting, thrilling, fulfilling, important to work on than safe AGI. And I'm a big believer that if you have a mission that's really important to you personally, which this very much is to me and to our team, you'll have a ton of energy and you can figure it out. And we thought that when we started OpenAI, we thought that the probability of success was quite low, but if we could figure out how to build AGI, then it would surely be transformative. And we have to get the safety right as part of that, but the upside from it will be tremendous. I really believe this will be the most transformative thing society has yet built.
Thank you so much, Sam, for taking time to come to this conference, although virtually. And I'm sure there are still tons of questions, but in the interest of time, we have to stop here. Hopefully next time you will have your chance to come to China, come to Beijing, and we can have
I hope so.
A further discussion. Thank you so much.
Thank you all very much, Ed.
Thank you so much, Sam. 谢谢张洪江博士。